Okay, so it seems like we have a pretty big update in regards to the whole Ethan Klein H3H3 situation which involves obviously Kaceytron. Now, this whole lawsuit thing has been going on, if you guys don't know. Essentially, Ethan Klein has been, unleashing a lawsuit against a couple of streamers, being Kaceytron, one of them, Frogan, and also Denims, for obviously fair use reasons, due to the fact of them obviously watching a lot of his content on stream and not really kind of adding much input into it and other things like that. And obviously, they have become pretty, engrossed in all of this, and, there's been GoFundMe set up for both of the, for all of them, right? And Kaceytron has been one of them who's been particularly harsh, especially on Ethan Klein and on a lot of other people as well. And, well, it seems like there's been finally a kind of resolution, and it's pretty embarrassing to see, I'm going to be honest. And obviously, yeah, it seems like Ethan Klein has 100% won this one, as, they announced the fact that Kaceytron and Ethan Klein have reached a settlement. Now, if you don't know, the other day, Kaceytron was on Twitter and stuff, kind of talking about the fact that, her family are struggling and things, and obviously that garnered a lot of sympathy points with a lot of people, but I mean, it's the kind of common, phrase here, if you don't have the time, then don't do the crime, right? And that's essentially what a lot of people have been saying, and a lot of people have also been pushing, Ethan to go even further, as, it seems like, she's finally realizing the kind of, what her actions have done, and the consequences that they have caused, especially for her family as well. Not just her, but for her family, which obviously she needs to look after. But yeah, obviously he announces it on here, essentially saying they've reached a settlement. So for like his fan base, whatever, not to send any hate and stuff over to them or whatever. And he also says there was a special message which she was supposed to put out soon during that stream, right? And that message actually came out. It's over on Twitter, over on Twitch and everything. It's about 8 minutes long, or at least the stream is about 8 minutes long, with this message being about 3 minutes long, obviously. And yeah, it's a pretty crazy one, because obviously she goes into the fact of some lots of different things, including Hassan, which is a very, very big topic of conversation. So let's take a look at this clip and then we'll talk about it.
By stating I take responsibility for infringing the content nuke. I want to begin by stating I take responsibility for infringing the content nuke. The lawsuit was not frivolous. When I said the lawsuit was frivolous and based on misogyny, it was to garner sympathy, protect my own reputation, and retaliate against the Kleins. This lawsuit has given me a greater understanding of copyright protection, people's copyrights, and the importance of protecting copyrights in the online content creation community. It is important for the entire content creation community to respect the intellectual property rights of other creators, and I will adhere to the lessons I've learned throughout this process going forward. I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hassan Piker. Hassan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support. Speaking honestly, I found his indifference to my suffering hurtful, especially after he hinted he might help me behind the scenes. It felt like he wanted to receive credit from the public for helping me without providing any. As to the GoFundMe money, to the extent there are any remaining funds after I pay my attorney's fees, I have agreed to pay the remaining funds to the Kleins. The funds will not go to anyone else, including Denims or Frogan, to defend their lawsuits. For the record, I have agreed to cooperate with the Kleins in their litigation against the H3 Snark mods for promoting my live stream to the extent that I am able. I will offer my support, including testifying under oath to everything I have just stated, to help their cause. I also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge other misconduct and bad behavior I have exhibited online. For example, weaponizing the death of Asmongold's mother was inexcusable. I should know better because I have 3 disabled people that rely on me. Moving forward, I will do better. I also want to apologize to the crew of the H3 podcast, particularly AB and Olivia. I apologize for calling them cowards for not quitting their jobs. That was a shameful attack on 2 people who deeply care about Palestine and Palestinian people. AB, along with his wife Lena, have done more than I have ever done for the Palestinian people, including raising over $100,000 in charity. I recognize that they have actually made Palestinian lives better, and my online antagonism and trolling has not. I apologize to Ethan and Gila personally. I have said extremely mean and cruel things about both of them. particularly my misogynistic attacks against Hila that never should have been said. I also want to acknowledge the pervasive problem of anti-Semitism in leftist spaces. It should concern all of us. I condemn it and will not participate in it. To that end, I wish the Klein's success in enforcing TED Entertainment's copyright and protecting the legal rights of online content creators.
So yeah, obviously that is the entire apology there, and it's a pretty interesting one because there's been many different takes to this. Many people have been going, oh yeah, that's great, you know, that this has all been sorted now. Obviously some people being, you know, it's pretty funny to see her saying all of this now after how vocal she was against all of these people on stream. And also some people being like, that's not good enough. She's essentially been forced into this apology through a lawsuit, right? And it does feel like that, you know, it doesn't feel like she is genuinely sorry for what she has actually done. But obviously, you know, she has had to put out this statement as part of the kind of, the settlement that, you know, they have come to, and that is what she had to do. Obviously, it seems like the settlement, one of the parts of the settlement, obviously with the money and everything like that included, was to go onto stream and apologize for everything, including stuff, for example, where she calls out her son, saying, you know, about the fact that he hasn't actually provided her any support, despite obviously kind of pushing a lot of these people to do this. You know, he has been in the background saying, hey, you should really go for this lawsuit, you should push it, because obviously him and Ethan Klein, you know, do not like each other, right? But then obviously after they actually go ahead and do it, he's just kind of taken a step back. He hasn't provided any kind of support, even like kind of publicly or anything, just to be like, hey guys, go support them or whatever, or even kind of giving financial support, being like, okay, I'll fund the lawsuit if you do it, right? Because obviously a lot of this is something that he wants to do rather than what they want to do. Now, obviously they do have a part to play in it, and they do have a part to kind of want to push this as well. But I think Hassan was also a really big part of it, but also at the same time, he just kind of stepped back, which was very, very weird to see. And also after everything that she has said about asmongold and things, it's so funny to see her, you know, obviously going back on that and obviously saying he's sorry for saying the stuff that she said about his mum and saying that he was like responsible for her death, which obviously was not true at all. And that's something that she spouted on her stream quite a lot, you know. Obviously people say, yeah, I don't know if I believe this is sincere versus this is what you needed to say for Ethan to accept the settlement, but I hope that you come around to truly understand and make peace that what you're saying here is the right thing. Also saying they've done more for Palestinian people than I ever have, is that this takes me back to the tweet just a few days ago about trying to prop yourself up as a magnet for hate to spare others. As what a lovely sound bit all of this is, but seriously, maybe get a job. You're not very good at this one. Being a plumber would be good for you. You're very familiar with shit given how full of it you are, which again, 100% true as well, saying all remaining GoFundMe money raised to the Kleins, which also is extremely funny and humiliating too, because, you know, all of these people who have been going, yeah, screw Ethan, you know, screw HHH, screw all of these people part of this kind of podcast and things, they've been donating to these GoFundMes, right, to support their lawsuits. And now she's giving the remainder of the money to the people that they, you know, all hate, which I think is quite funny too. And, you know, that's where it's all going. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people outraged by that as well, which I think is quite funny. But they say, yeah, glad it's over for you. I know this caused you immense stress. Obviously, some people, you know, I think a lot of people are mainly glad it's over, or from both sides, to be honest, because it is a pretty stupid and pointless argument. But again, hopefully this does stop Kaceytron from doing what she is doing or has been doing on stream. And, you know, this settlement really does kind of nail it in that, hey, you know, you can't just go around doing this kind of stuff, you know, kind of willy-nilly, right? You're going to get faced with some kind of legal action if it does happen again. And I hope that if it does happen again, you know, they try again, because again, I do think it is pretty ridiculous that it's gotten to this point to actually make her kind of regret what she's done and realize the consequences of her actions, right? But again, you know, that is essentially everything there is with this situation. I just kind of wanted to cover it and show you guys exactly what's going on, give you guys a little bit of context as to why this has even happened. And yeah, it's very, very big for Ethan. And obviously we still move on to Frogan and Denims, who, yeah, have not reached a settlement or anything as far as I know. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one to see, right? But yeah, that's what I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaz, get 10% off again. They got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.